Hello, I'm Sue from Create with Sue, and I was doing this design for my niece's new baby, and I thought, oh, I might just film some of the steps I go through to make it easier once you get it to the scan and cut, because it might come into your Canvas Workspace mat looking similar to this, where you can't actually cut it out exactly like this. The black bits here may not come out of the same piece of card. If you move this at all, you'll see the fold line is left behind. If you have an accident, just come up here to the left and go backspace, and that'll recover that. So there's various things you can do to make it easier. The P and the E are all separate pieces, but also you cannot cut them out on the offset. Otherwise, obviously it won't be quite right. So it's just a quick tip to show you some tips on how to manage this a little bit better. So you would bring your design in over here in your SVG or up here on your file and import your design from your computer or your cutting machine, depending on where you're bringing it from. You can also open Explorer and just grab your design and drop it over. I haven't got that handy just there. Just close that again. So it will just drag and drop into here. Now, to solve some of these problems, this is the downloaded version of Canvas Workspace. Go into your Layers panel and find your shape. So I've highlighted that shape, but you can see this shape here will be the line, the fold line. That's the outside shape, and that's the fold line. So if you hold either your Shift or Control, depending if they're close together or next to each other, you could do your Shift for this one because they're right next to each other. But if they were separated, for example, if they were the two pieces, you would hold your Control key down, or Command if you're on a Mac. But in this case, we can hold the Shift key. You can usually draw a box around, and that will also capture most of the data. But you need to double check that it has, because just occasionally it skips bits. And in your Layers panel, there's a really handy tool, the group, right here. So you just go group. Now you can name this group if you want to, so you can do that as card base maybe. And that one's done. You can also, so that Aspen, so you could move those letters one by one, or you can move it in one block. My thought's easier to move it in one block. So click on the first letter, hold your Shift or Control if you need to, down, and just click them, or you can just click, I'll just do that again, you can click the top one, hold your Shift, and because these are in a row, you can just click the bottom one, and that'll select everything in between. And once again, you could use the group here. You'll also find group up in your layer icon, layer menu in the top left, and go group that way too. And you can see that's grouped. And you can name that Aspen in this case, or name. And then that's really easy just to move somewhere. Also, you can, I could leave that over there. In the layers, I love the Layers panel. You might have guessed that. You can choose which components that you want to send to your machine. So for example, if I don't want to cut out Aspen, the name, if I don't want to cut out the hearts, we can go and find the hearts. Let's Shift and select all the hearts, and you can hide them. So that little eye will hide everything. You can, I'm not going to cut this piece out, so you can go and find that piece and hide that if you want to. You can do this on your machine too, but you need to re-import it each time, so it's up to you which is easier for you. I sometimes send them all to the machine and then just delete the bits I don't want to cut on that particular pass and replace them into the machine for the next pass. But this one's quite fiddly, so I wouldn't perhaps do that for this particular one. I am going to potentially cut this and this out of white and these out of a different colour. So I probably won't send these in the same pass. So I think this one here will fit on an A4 or a letter size sheet of cardstock, and I've got some really nice like a hammer pattern cardstock that I like for cards, so we're going to put that on that one today. So just go through and hide or lock or whatever you can do. There's a little lock icon here as well you can use if you want to lock something down. Toggle lock, that's the lock, and just use it on that one there. It's a lock, so you'll see that that one moves. That's not the one I've locked, and that one won't. So there's the one I've locked, and there's the one that will still move. One will move, one will not, because that little lock's in place. And then you just unlock it when you're ready. This is a great tip for creating templates. So if you're designing something that you want to fit perhaps this card, so this section, you would lock the card, and I can't see my little lock because it's behind me. It's a nuisance, but you would lock that card and it won't move while you're designing, and you can just build your design on top of it, and this backing part is just a template or a guide, and then you unlock it when you're ready. When you're ready, send it over to your machine. So you just go File, Transfer FCM. It'll give you a message to say some objects are hidden, so anything that the eye has been clicked will not go, and then you just go OK. And transfer. This is via Wi-Fi. This is via a cable from your PC to your machine, and this one would be if you want to put it through via USB. So USB for this top one is the ideal, or if you want to save it, export it as an FCM and save it on your computer, you would also choose that one. Anyway, I hope you've liked this quick guide for this. I'm going to go off and cut this one out now. Probably not going to send it over like this. I'll keep hiding and working on that. And I hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya.